Well, very good afternoon and welcome to another edition of What's the Word. This week I'm joined, as always, by Brendan Duke and a special bonus guest for us, Group 1 winning jockey Shane Foley is going to be here to add his wit and wisdom to proceedings as well. And of course has a ride in the Champion Stakes tomorrow at Ascot, so looking forward to hearing about that. We've got a couple of questions to start off the day. We're going to hear about some good and bad luck stories. So Brendan, you can start because Shane, I haven't actually given you a chance to look at this yet. So your thoughts, a good bad luck story, good luck or bad luck story?
Good luck story, if I can take you back to February 2013, Tom. Willie Mullins on Irish Gold Cup Day, and I did a Trixie. Not the shrewdest bet you'll ever do, because the problem with a Trixie is if 33% of your selections lose, 75% of your bets are gone. But it really works well if they all win. So I had Champagne Fever, he won. Sir de Champ, he won. They actually both bolted up, but in between I had Boston Bob in the novice chase, and I can't remember, he was either fourth or fifth jump at the last. Anyway, he's completely out of it, and the boy Townend has just got a rattle out of him.
I remember that ride. He came from nowhere.
Up on the jam stick, landed the Trixie.
Brilliant.
So that was a good luck story.
Brilliant. I'm not going to ask you a punting story, Shane, to get you in trouble, but best good luck, bad luck story?
I suppose my bad luck one I can think of straight off is in Belliostown one day. Horse flipped back on me before the start and broke my collarbone and broke my ankle, and I was due to ride Casamento in his maiden in Tipperary even the following day. So that was kind of one of my biggest downsides in racing, I suppose. It was something I always kind of think. It's the first time I ever had a full book. I had 8 rides. Next day I had a ride for Jesse in the listed race, and it was I was still a claimer at the time. So
wow.
Yeah. So that's one
dreadful.
of the
Oh, right, let's move on to some happier times. We're going to ask you to pick a couple of horses to follow as well. You obviously shrewd man on the flat, Brendan, so 2 maybe that have caught your eye over the course of the season, perhaps 2. And Shane, I'm going to go to you on that as well. Any horses that this flat season have really stood out for you that could be paid for next year? I
think Bye Bye Baby is a filly that her form stacks up, and I think she could be really smart next year when she steps up to 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles. And there's a horse I rode myself actually that it's gone under the radar, Romanized, horse of Ken Condon's supposed to run in France last week, but he got a bit of a setback, but we won't see him till next year again obviously, but he could be a live outsider in a Guineas next year hopefully.
He had a really good start to the season this year, didn't he?
Yeah, he won his maiden in Navan, brick by brick, declaration of peace. Some of the horses behind him all highly rated, and then he bumped into a good horse of Charlie Appleby's in the Slario in Sandown, but I thought he'd win in France last week, and it was a bit of a disappointment, but sure, that's horses.
Well, I'm pretty glad you said that. He's in my horse track. You give us 2.
2, Aidan O'Brien trained, so under the radar. But Kenya is one of them. He runs on Sunday, actually. Gorgeous looking horse. It's just so well made. He's one of these Galileo experiments to mate them with really speedily bred mares. So he's out of a Dejour mare.
Wow.
And I think he could be a serious force over a mile next year. I don't know if he'd be ready in time for the Guineas because he sort of only got going about a week ago.
Yeah.
So I think he could go in on Sunday. He's in a good heat on Sunday, but he's definitely one to watch next season. And then the Pentagon as well. Speaking of pedigrees, very interestingly bred horse. He's bred to get about 4 miles. This horse, he by Galileo out of an Umphawain mare. So this is all height of fashion busted. They're all late developing, strong stayers. That whole family, and I would expect that he'll get better as he gets older, and he'll really come into his own over 1.5 miles next year. I think he'll win the Derby.
Okay, big call. Right, let's move on to Ascot tomorrow. Absolutely brilliant card. You have a ride in the Champion Stakes with Success Days. How is he? I mean, obviously he's a big price. It's a hot race.
Yeah, we can't have him any better than he is, and we've just been doing the rain dance all week, and lucky enough to have 8 mils last night, 4 the day before, and a lot more due tonight. So I'm just hoping if it turned up a real test and point-to-point ground could do me. But I know it'd probably ruin the day tomorrow, but for me it could make the day, you know what I mean? And he could run a big race if the ground was very tested, you know.
This seems to have been his aim all year as well, to have a cut.
Yeah, look, exactly. Look, obviously Leopardstown was the first, but the ground just wasn't slow enough for him there. Simple as he needs proper deep ground to be competing at that level.
And the race itself, I mean, do you think Cracksman can do it over 10 furlongs?
I think so. Probably the ground is going to slow everything down for him, and it'll turn it into a test, which he'll play right up his street. But with Utilise coming out, and obviously Churchill and Barney Roy going for the mile, it's cut it up a small bit. Like it's still a top class race.
Your thoughts, Brendan? on the Champions Stakes?
I think it's all set up for Cracksman with the ground. I don't think he's short of speed either. I think he was mentally slow more than anything. That's what cost him the 2 derbies, but he's really grown up. He doesn't hit the flat spots nearly the way he used to. And I think between Success Days and Highland Reel, it should be running a decent clip tomorrow. And I'd expect him to be too strong for them.
Yeah, the long distance cup as well is actually a Group 2, it's not a Group 1, so it doesn't come into that sort of reckoning for Aidan O'Brien and the the world record bid. But can you see Order St George getting turned over?
No, definitely not, and especially if the ground has gone this way. Look, his biggest fear looked to be Big Orange, and to say he doesn't really operate on this ground, so it could be a straightforward task for him.
Yeah, can you see past the Order St George? I mean, I know he chucks in a batter every now and again, but on this ground at the stage of the year?
On soft ground, he just sees bomb-proof, isn't he?
The QE2 Ribchester, he's been one of those cracking horses. I know he came unstuck 2 runs ago, but what do you make of his chances on soft ground?
Look, I think he handles that ground better than Churchill. He has the rating, he's £2 inferior of him. He'll take all the beating. Richard Fatty has done a tremendous job with him all year to keep turning him out, and again, handles this ground well. And I think today he got beat. William could have I'd say if he could rewrite the race again, he might have just been a bit more forceful on him. So I'd say he'll take all the beating tomorrow.
Yeah, the track maybe at Goodwood probably didn't suit him so much either. What are your thoughts on the QE2?
I'm surprised that Ribchester's as big as he is. He's touching 2-1, Tom. There seems to be a real weight of money.
Maybe he's fallen out of fashion or something. I can't see what's wrong with his form, to be honest.
Certainly not. No. He just shows up and runs his race. He was a little disappointed, I granted him Goodwood, but it was filthy conditions that day. And as Shane said, he could have won if I don't exactly know what happened. I think Buick sort of half gave up, and then he ran on again at the end. But anyway, I thought with Churchill the ground not ideal, and Beat the Bank does have to step up. I thought 2-1 was a very fair price.
The sprint looks one of the races of the day. Harry Angel's performance in soft going last time out, I mean, can you get that out of your mind?
It's hard to. It's just at the price though. He's even money in a race that's going to be run. I mean, the Ascot 6 furlongs is one of the stiffest 6 furlongs you can get. It's going to be run at a really strong pace, which should set up well for Caravaggio. I was surprised, being a scat daddy, how well Caravaggio handled the bad ground in the Curragh. I know it wasn't much of a race, but he couldn't have been more impressive. The race is totally set up for him. He's around 5-1. I think at 5 times the price, I think I'd go for Caravaggio.
Yeah, your thoughts on that, Shane?
Yeah,
do you think he could?
Harry's Angel style of race, and he likes to jump and be prominent, and Ballydoyle have 2 other ones in there, and I guarantee he's going to have company tomorrow.
I mean, that's how they got him beaten Ascot the first time.
Yeah, exactly, and he's got it quite easy, you could say, his last 2. I know he's looked very impressive, but they've let him control the race the last twice, and I cannot see that happening tomorrow.
Yeah, well, they've another 3 in it apart from Caravaggio.
Alphabet and Intelligence Cross, and they'll be champing on his boot tomorrow.
And can you see Caravaggio, or do you think Quiet Reflection could come into it perhaps?
Quiet Reflection, now look, she has to step up obviously, but again, she's known and proven on this ground, so I'd say Carl Burke was glad to get her back in the winners and closer in Ace the last day, but no, I think Caravaggio could just come late and steal the show again tomorrow. They've taught a lot of him early in the season, and he just hit a bit of a blip there, but they got him back. It was a nice encouraging run the Curragh the last time, so he could be the one.
In the fillies and mares, Batil is top of the market there from Journey. You've only a bet in that race. It looks pretty competitive.
Very competitive. Hard to name the favourite. Never mind the winner. I sometimes in these races where I can't rule anything. I like to go for something at a price. So there's one down there, Alyssa, of Rafe Beckett's, and I just thought she was interesting. She's only had 3 runs this year, so she's fresh, and she should have the run of the race. I can't see much other pace in the race. Now, it's an interesting test for Pat Dobbs, actually, when you're riding a horse like this. So she won over a mile in 6 the last day, so he wants to go fast enough to use her stamina, but not so fast that he
empties her.
Yes, he has to take advantage of the soft lead. So if he can manage that, I thought around 16 or 20-1, she was a fair each way price.
Anything stand out in that fillies?
Yeah, it's probably the most open race of the day. It's a race that you could see 3 different winners if it was run 3 different times. But Journey probably has the form there, and his horses are flying. So that'd be, if I could ride one, I'd probably pick her.
You pick her. The Balmoral handicap looks straightforward. It looks ridiculously difficult to bear. Roger Varian's horse, it looks very progressive up near the top of the market. Would you have a bet on that, or is that the kind of thing that stands out at you?
I might have a bet in the race. The Grape Escape of Hannon's. I know because someone texted me before the race that they wanted to win in Pontefract the last day to get into this race. So they love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Phase 1 is complete. And he was very impressive in Pontefract, a 3-year-old in a race like this. I thought he was interesting.
Yeah, have you had a look at that?
Yeah, no, there was a horse that stood out in David O'Mara's horse. It was first run for him the last time, and he was quite unlucky out the track and that, but no better man to reproduce a horse on the big day for a big handicap, and Danny Tudhope and him are having a fantastic season. They could top it off with a big handicap tomorrow.
Just to wrap on Saturday, you're missing Fairyhouse. I'm trying not to be too disappointed and ask it rather than Fairyhouse, but is there any particular rides you are missing out on?
There's a couple. I would have had plenty of rides. I'd have had a filly in the first Bronze Age, a filly of Ken Condon's. She was beaten Limerick the last day. That was over 7 furlongs. She's dropping back to 6 tomorrow, which won't bother Colin Keane. I've stuck Colin in for the ride, so no, she has a chance. And there was one horse tomorrow, John McConnell's Get Out of Jail, runs over 1.5 miles on heavy ground. He could take a bit of beating. He was a bit unlucky the last time, and them two would have run well at.
Good stuff. Anything you fancy on Saturday away from Ascot?
No.
Okie doke, that's straightforward. For what it's worth, I kind of fancy Kaylee of Bill Farrell's, who looks chucked in. It's only a remark of 76 after winning a Curragh Maiden, which is a pretty low rating, and I know she'll go better on better ground. Anyways, Leopardstown Sunday, you'll be active there as well. Anything you're looking forward to in particular on Sunday?
I'm actually suspended Sunday.
Suspended Sunday.
I was supposed to be suspended for tomorrow, but I got the day deferred for.
Oh, because it's a Group 1.
For Sunday, yeah. I'm actually missing out on quite a number of rides, but Hardly, I would have rode Guess Bill in the 7 furlong race for Johnny, and just touched off in the bird catcher. He'll run well, but no, there's some good horses on show on Sunday. Some of them O'Brien horses, and just later in the year you see the late developing like Kenya and them. It'll be interesting to see what they come out and do on Sunday. Yeah, absolutely. The likes of Together Forever, who's a full sister. Is it Forever Together?
Forever
is it full
Together.
Sister Together? Either or. And James Cook, who's full brother to Found as well. They might be the first 2 winners of the day, perhaps. What anything else you're looking forward to on the Leopardstown card?
Yes, I thought they'd both win, making standard Aidan O'Brien Stone improvement for their first run. I have to stick with Kenya, although I would give a word for McMwinigle as well.
McMonigal, isn't it?
McMonigal, he's a really well-made horse. He wouldn't be as big as Kenya. He's not over big, but he's a beautifully proportioned horse. So the two of them should put on a right race. But I have to go for Kenya because I've put him up for it. Yeah. And then just in the 4 o'clock, Cannonball sets the standard. He's a very likeable horse, Cannonball, but he's all about stamina. 10 furlongs would be a minimum for him. And we were in Naas last Sunday when this Longing ran, and she's a very impressive, like, she looks like a colt. She's a really good looking filly,
and she was backed off the board.
Backed off the boards, did not respond well to cash. But they've obviously, I don't know if they found anything or just they decided it was a once off, because she's out a week later, and maybe off the back of that run we get a price. I might take a chance on her to price.
Go with Longing.
Yeah.
And what's your idea of a winner perhaps on the card on Sunday then?
I think Bye Bye Baby could be
Bye Bye Baby.
Yeah,
we've given her as one to follow over the course of the weekend. So, right, we're going to give us a proper winner for the weekend. Best bet of the weekend then?
Ribchester 2-1 was a big price to me.
2-1. On the Ascot card, obviously you're hoping success. Do you think he can run into a price?
I think, look, if it turned up heavy, if it really turned up heavy, and because he will handle it better than most, nearly unraceable I wanted, to be honest. But no, he could run well. But I think Caravaggio, I think the race could be set up for him. I just think they'll take Harry's Angel on. He could burn himself up in front, and it could fall right for Caravaggio.
Good stuff. All right, thanks guys. Hopefully you've gained lots of winners from our inside here over the course of the day on What's the Word. We'll be back again next week.